that hurt. Could you hear me or no?
I can hear you. What do you mean? Like, here you doing push-ups?
Yeah.
No, I couldn't hear that.
Alright, good. It's pathetic. My hand's bruised from volleyball. My captain
Bruised?
yelled at me. He said it's bruised because I don't hit the ball right. He's totally right.
What's going on? What's going on?
That actually really hurt my palm. You know what I just realized?
What's up?
You can't see my face at all because you have...
Oh, yeah. Shoot, I need to move you down. No, I did that yesterday. I moved it down. I didn't want to see your face.
I don't blame you. I don't think anybody wants to see my face.
All right.
That fat,
We're good.
ugly
We're
mug.
fixed now.
Where's our music? Cue music.
I would have it. It just freezes up the stream. So again, I have to figure that out. I have a lot of stuff to figure out about the stream.
Well, we have a week off. Well, not a full week, but you know what I mean.
That's true. I'm gonna spend it wisely.
Oh! Ramos is going to lose. Let's go. You took Ramos, didn't you?
Yeah, but I already beat my guy.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, I pretty much. His one guy got like 18 points, and none of my guys are going to get near 18. They're going to at least break 20. The losers, anyway.
I might go. I'm going to be 4-1 if Cuevas can break right there.
Thank you, Philton. Thank you for that. I hope we're legit at this point.
Can you see my palm? Can you see how? Can you see the?
I actually can.
Yeah.
Wait, just give it just a few more seconds, guys, and then we'll go ahead and get started.
Yeah, it's not going to be.
TJ.
What?
If you don't mind, I think I'm going to do our major announcement at the end of the stream. I think that makes more sense.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That makes the most sense.
Planes.
More people...
I don't know if that means hopefully liftoff, right? That's our DK lineups. I think that's what that means. All right, guys, we're going to go ahead. What's up?
Nothing, dude.
We're going to go ahead and get started because obviously it's a 2-game slate. There's obviously not much to talk about. And there is a very straightforward strategy that we're going to have here. If Brandon Ingram gets ruled out, obviously we know that he's pending injury news, and we know that Jaylen Brown is also pending. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dive right into it. TJ, my initial thoughts on this slate, it's like, all right, there's some great plays in LA with the Clippers, right? They're underpriced, but it's a pace down team. There's some great plays in the Pelicans, but it's also a slight pace down spot. And with Boston, I think they're priced. I mean, they're obviously in a pace up spot, but their prices aren't as intriguing. So it's kind of confusing. It's like kind of all over the place as of right now. Who do you want to start with? Who do you want to talk about?
There's so many options.
Yeah, there's a lot of options.
Let's start with the Clippers just because everything's set in stone there. I feel like that makes sense. So today, obviously, only a 2-game slate. So what Matt and I really want to say, and what we say every single time, there's not a lot of games, is just to tread lightly. Don't play as much as you normally would. These small slates are so volatile. If you miss out on one guy, it can set you back immensely. So just be careful. I'm going to be playing a lot more GPPs tonight opposed to double ups, where on most nights I'm more of a double up guy opposed to GPPs. So with that being said, the highest spend up right now is Kawhi Leonard at 9-1. For cash, I'm definitely locking him in at 9-1. That's way too cheap of a price tag. There are a lot of weird pricings on this small 2-game slate. I feel like everybody for the Clippers is very underpriced. OKC, not so much the Pelicans and the Celtics, but those two teams that I just mentioned, some of those price tags are head scratchers. So Kawhi at 9-1. I definitely really like him. I think he's going to be fairly chalky in terms of cash. You know, a lot of these guys are on a 4-game slate, but really like Kawhi as a spend up. I mean, I really like Paul George. I love Lou Williams at 6-1. Obviously, we don't have Pat Bev tonight still for the Clippers. Everybody else is healthy. They got Marcus Morris now. Interesting how they kind of meshed together in these first couple games. Marcus actually played 36 minutes against Philly, so that was definitely interesting. I didn't expect him to play that many minutes, but yeah, it really took away from Montrezl Harrell, who only played 24 minutes. So that's definitely an interesting tidbit. It looks like Harrell's going to be the one that gets his minutes affected most with the Marcus Morris signing. Um, yeah, so I mean, I definitely love Kawhi. I mean, I like Paul George at 7.9. I love Lou Williams at 6,100. I mean, I even like Marcus Morris at 5,000 or 5K if he plays, those mid 30 minutes again. The Montrezl Harrell 4-5 is just screaming at me because I mean he's so productive when he's on the court. Last couple games or last week or so he hasn't been very productive. Obviously with the Marcus Morris signing, his minutes have gone down. His minutes have been trending down, since the beginning of February to begin with. But at 4-5 against the Celtics, I definitely really like that price tag. I'm going to be overweight on him in terms of GPPs. And then who else do we have from the Clippers? I mean, there's just Zub at 42, definitely a GPP play. But yeah, so I definitely think Kawhi, Paul George, Lou Williams, all cash viable. And then, like I said, Marcus Morris, Trez, GPP plays for me. I'm going to be overweight on Montrezl Harrell.
Yeah, so I agree with everything you just said. I mean, you didn't mention Shamit, but I mean, come on.
Yeah, I don't.
No, I mean, no, he's probably the only guy I'm not looking at tonight. So,
crazy. He played very well against Philly, but like he's just more of a defensive specialist opposed to.
Right.
I don't expect anything offensively from him.
Right. So yeah, the one thing with Harrell is, like you said, the minutes are just so far down. It's interesting. What's up?
They're dwindling.
They're dwindling, and it's kind of interesting because he's such a good player. He's obviously he's fairly good when he's in. He averages 1.16 fantasy points per minute. I think that's what I was looking at. Something close to there.
1.13.
1.3. Okay, so it was close. So yeah, I mean, going against Boston, obviously he's a good matchup too. So I think Harrell's a good play if he does get the 25 minutes, and he should. I mean, he should get out there, get those minutes against Boston because it is Boston. They think that obviously with the matchup being there. Lou Will 6.4 averages 1.16 fantasy points per minute in 34 minutes. What's up?
Sorry, he's 6.1. He's even cheaper.
Yeah,
6.4.
Oh no, I was sorry. I was the value 6.4.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. So yeah, 6.1. So I do like Lou Will. He's obviously my thumbnail. I really do like him. If he gets those minutes, if he starts. Now, we don't really know what's going to happen with the rotation, but if it goes off of historical evidence here, obviously Lou Will should start, get those 34 minutes. Paul George, another great play. And yeah, it's just like right now you're just going to have to use intuition. Kawhi Leonard at 9.1 is just too cheap. Like He's been bouncing around in that 10K range. I get it's gonna be a competitive game. It's paced down for Clippers right now, but as you guys know with competitive games, they're gonna keep their best players in as much as they can. So the floor for Paul George and Kawhi Leonard tonight is gonna be 35 minutes. So if it does stay relatively close, they're gonna obviously play more than that. So, with these competitive games, you're looking at people like Lou Will, you're looking at Paul George, you're looking at Kawhi Leonard, and even Marcus Morris at this point. And you're saying these guys are going to be out on the floor for the entire game. They should be. So I'm assuming that's why the minutes are projected upwards like that too. But yeah, I can agree with you with the Clippers. I think those are the safest spots, and I think that we have to start there with a core build pending Brandon Ingram news, and of course Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, I mean, you got to take into consideration, too, we're about to go in the All-Star game. We're about to go into the All-Star break. So, I mean, yeah, if this is a competitive game, Kawhi will play 36 minutes tonight. I mean, they're not going to hold back because he's about to get 7 days off. So, week, 8 days, whatever it is. So, I mean, there's no point of holding back now. So, yeah, if this is a competitive game on the road against the Celtics, I mean, those guys should see those allotted minutes.
Right. And the same thing can be said for Boston, with their good players. Do you want to start with Boston?
Yeah, so obviously it is tough to kind of gauge because we're still pending Jaylen Brown. So I feel like those are the two biggest things that we're obviously waiting on in a 2-game slate are whether or not Jaylen Brown and Brandon Ingram are playing. Because if Jaylen Brown sits, that gives a lot more usage to guys like Tatum, Kemba, Hayward, Marcus Smart. And then obviously with Brandon Ingram, it opens up a ton of value for those guys. So we're going to have to obviously wait and sit on this news. I mean, if Jaylen plays at 6K, I definitely love that price tag. I think that's way too cheap for him. He would definitely be my go-to out of those 4 Celtic studs between Tatum, Kemba, Hayward, and Brown. I don't hate Tice at 4.6. I think that's way too cheap. Should see high 20-ish minutes. He's been taking minutes away from Canner. He's been super productive. He's played 30 in the last 2 games, actually, against OKC and Houston. So I definitely like Tice at 4.6 for cash, and Jalen. Those are the 2 guys that I'm definitely looking at in terms of cash. GPP's, Gordon Hayward at 6.7. I think that's far too cheap. And Kemba. We're going to have exposure to all these guys on a 2-game slate, but Jalen and Tice are definitely my focal points in terms of cash. I'll definitely have sprinkles of GPP plays for most of these Celtics. I'll probably be overweight in GPPs on Gordon Hayward, but if Jalen's out, that changes everything. So.
And also, Daniel Tice is actually more appealing in GPPs because his ownership's actually lower than Harrell, and he's playing more minutes. Obviously, a good matchup. There's projected more points in the Clippers as of right now. Mm-hmm. So Tice actually becomes more of an intriguing option, I think, for GPPs. If you're looking at the center option, could be a very good pivot off of Harrell. Not saying Harrell's not a good play. I'm saying that Tice could end up being a very good play at that price tag. And like you said, Jaylen Brown, if he does play, I think it's $6K. Obviously that's underpriced. Have him here at 5.7. He's going to be the highest owned Boston Celtic here, so I think he's going to end up being a cash play. And I think everybody else kind of falls by the wayside at that point. Gordon Hayward's not a bad play, but if we're talking cash, I think that's the most popular play right there. And as we know with Celtics, you gotta pick the cheapest one because you really don't know which one's gonna show up. Yeah, Tatum could go out here and obviously ball out. Competitive game. Kemba Walker, same thing. But again, if you're gonna play it safe, you're gonna take the cheapest of the Celtics. All right, let's move on to the last game. That was quick. So let's start with OKC since everything's set in stone there. What are your thoughts?
Gallinari is going to be the chalkiest cash play tonight at 5.5. Yeah. Like I said, some of these price tags are just very strange. 5.5 against the Pelicans in an up-paced game. Him and Steven Adams, those price tags are just really crazy. Even like SGA, Schroeder's not even in the sixes. So it's a weird night on a 2-game slate to have most of these guys be on a price. Like Nerlens Noel's 3.2. Like even that's kind of insane. Steven Adams actually rates out the best on our sheet. Averages 1.08 fantasy points per minute at 5,300 in a very good matchup against these Pelican bigs. I definitely love Steven Adams. Gallinari at 5.5 averages 1.05 fantasy points per minute, rates out very well on our sheet. And then a guy like Nerlens Noel at 3.2. The minutes have obviously been trending down. Steven Adams has been playing well, but in this matchup against Jackson Hayes, where he comes off the bench and Nerlens comes off the bench, if he sees 18 minutes, 20 minutes, it's definitely a very good spot for him. So I'll probably be overweight on Nerlens Noel in terms of GPPs. Obviously, the minutes scare me, but in a 2-game slate, you're going to have to try and get aggressive and sneaky, somewhere. He actually rates out like he's going to carry some sort of ownership, Nerlens Noel at 3,200. So, I definitely like the matchup against the Pelicans for these OKC bigs. SGA at 6.5. Like, I love all these guys at their price tags. It's just, it's insane. It's absolutely insane. But my targets are definitely going to be Gallinari and Steven Adams, SGA. I think those are my 3 cash targets. And then, like I said, Noel for GPPs. I'm all over that too.
Yeah, again, it's the exact same situation with Boston. It's like who's gonna show up in this game? Any one of these guys could show up. It's a great team. They have great guards here, and it's gonna be a pace-up spot for OKC. I think for cash, if I'm building a cash lineup tonight, I'm literally taking the cheapest from every one of these teams just to play it safe because you like I said, you don't know who's gonna show up for Boston. You don't know who's gonna show up for OKC. I'm gonna have a lot of Gallinari. I'm gonna probably have Brown if he plays. And, the cheapest of the centers, I'm going to have Tice. I'm going to have Steven Adams if I can get them both in there. And I'm just going to go from there. I think that's the safest bet. And with that being said, Gallinari could suck, and then Chris Paul could go off. Like, you really don't know. It's kind of a tough... It's definitely, like you said, the GPP type of night. Because, if you're going to play GPPs, you could end up stacking a couple of players from each team because you don't know really who's going to go over their initial spread here. And you really don't know who's going to go under. So... yeah, it's a confusing picture, and I really do want the Brandon Ingram news to come out soon because if he is ruled out, let's go ahead and move on to the Pelicans because the other night, if you guys remember, I played the Spurs because they were very chalky, and then I purposefully did not put anybody from the first couple games except for Levine, and then when Brandon Ingram was ruled out, I played the entire Pelicans starting lineup plus who was it? Redick plus Redick. So it was minus Lonzo Ball plus Redick, and I almost got a takedown. Like that's how much of a difference Brandon Ingram makes. But am I going to be as aggressive this time? Probably not, because the price tags are adjusted a little bit upward, and it's a little bit more of a pace down spot for the Pelicans. TJ, what are your thoughts if Brandon Ingram is ruled out for the Pelicans?
So if Brandon Ingram's out, I'm definitely logging in Zion in terms of cash. It's 7,800, averages 1.71 fantasy points per minute with Ingram off the court. So, I mean, he's just an auto lock for me for cash. Derek Favors also comes into play at 4,900, averages 1.24 fantasy points per minute with Ingram off the court. I don't hate Drew Holiday. I don't hate Lonzo Ball. So we're obviously going to have to wait and see what's going on with BI. If Brandon Ingram is in, I think the Pelicans are your go-to in terms of GPPs, because I feel like they're going to be the team that carries the lowest ownership on this 2-game slate if Ingram is ruled in.
I agree.
So that's definitely something you guys might want to think about, like being overweight on Zion, Drew, Brandon Ingram, even if Brandon Ingram's in. But yeah, I mean, we gotta wait and see what's going on with Brandon Ingram. That's obviously the biggest news. But yeah, Zion auto lock for cash for me if Ingram's out, and then Favors too.
Williamson averages 1.72 fantasy points per minute when Brandon Ingram's off the court, and that's actually not a bad sample size now. So it's creeping upwards of 100 minutes. Zion Williamson is the real deal. It's just that Brandon Ingram is also a very good basketball player, which is why he's not stepping into the spotlight as much. But I love Zion. I think the hype is there. Obviously, he needs to cut a few pounds, but he'll get better as time goes on. Yeah, that's the only criticism I have for him. He can obviously do everything, but shoot the ball from 3, and even then, he's not that bad. So,
wow. What did he do to you?
I think he's a fantastic player. I think
supposed to get 70. You're gonna call him fat?
I'll tell you what. When I was watching him play in Portland, the second I saw him shove Whiteside backwards 5 feet is the time I bought into Zion. I think he's the real deal.
He did against Giannis on that.
Yeah.
Rebound.
Manhandled him. Yeah.
Giannis is a very strong human being, and the fact that Zion I get Giannis was like falling backwards, what have you, but Zion ripped it from him, like forcefully. And you just called him fat. So I'm actually I just DM'd him. So I just told him that he said he's fat.
You just sent the clip of our live stream.
I did. I clipped it.
All right. So with the Pelicans, I'm going to take the stance of Zion. Yes, going to be my lock. Derek Favors. I got roasted for Derek Favors last game, but guys, he got taken out early and he's still almost at value. Derek Favors will do fantastic without Brandon Ingram. He's averaging 1.24 fantasy points per minute when he's off the court. So Williamson, Favors, and then Lonzo Ball and Holiday are toss-ups at that point. You really don't know. Drew Holiday had a very, very good outing last time. He's lower owned, so I would probably go more towards Holiday. He's going to be, at least in GPPs, he's the $400 price difference. And then Josh Hart was a great play, but he's getting overpriced now. And then, of course, my man JJ Redick does get a nice boost as well. He's going to be playing about 28 minutes, 4.4K, averaging close to a fantasy point per minute. Redick will be heavily involved in the offense without Brandon Ingram, especially on the bench. So I like the way him and Zion kind of played together when they were in the same rotation there. So, again, I want this Brandon Ingram news to come out because I'm going to lock a few more people in from the Pelicans, but I would not advise a heavy stack if he is ruled out. They'd have to score 130-plus points for it to make sense because their price tags are adjusted. But, it could end up paying off for you if you're a little bit more aggressive with the Pelicans. Do you want to talk about Boston if Jaylen Brown's ruled out? Or do you think that's a real possibility? I think he's more probable. Is that what I've heard? Or is he still game time?
He went through shoot around this morning. I expect him to play. So I really like him obviously tonight. The slate it's terrible for cash just because you fade Paul George, he's 40% owned. You fade Chris Paul, he's 40% owned. So that's why we advise not to play. I'm the cash guy. I'm not going to play a lot of cash lineups tonight. I normally play about 250, 300, whatever it is a night. In terms of cash, I'm definitely going to be doing way more GPPs. I'll probably do 2 lineups for cash tonight. It's just a tough slate. Everybody's price tags are just so cheap, and we're still pending this injury news. So it is obviously tough to gauge right now. Yeah, somebody just said the Marcus Morris narrative going back to Boston. Yeah, I know. I feel you, but not for me for cash right now. We'll have to wait and see how things shake up in terms of Ingram and Jaylen. But yeah, I think Jaylen plays, Matt.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Jaylen plays, and I think Brandon Ingram does not. That's my stance right now.
That's why when I ran my numbers, I did it with BI off the court. So I can agree with you. I think he's going to sit.
So let's just kind of assume, for the purpose of simplicity here, that Brandon Ingram does not play and that Jaylen Brown does. I ran some lineups. I think that your cash lineups. What's up?
I said, "Ooh, okay."
Okay. I ran my favorite plays, and let's see if you can agree with this. I think Zion, Lou Will, Gallinari, Paul George, Jaylen Brown are going to top my list.
Yeah, Gallinari, Kawhi.
Kawhi or Paul George. If you can get both of them in there, I mean, that's pretty safe.
Of course you can. Yeah, if Ingram's out, Zion goes to the top for sure. Gallinari's very cheap at 55 playing against Pelicans. I love him. Kawhi, 9,100. I mean, I think he's going to be one of the chalkier guys just because you have the luxury of being able to pay up for him. He's the most expensive guy on the slate. So JB at 6K, obviously. Yeah, Lou Will. Tice, 4,600. Yeah, I think that's kind of. I think I can agree with you. I also I really like Steven Adams too at 5,300.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with any of these centers, especially if Brandon Ingram's out. You can even go the favors.
All the centers are good tonight.
Literally, every single starting center.
Yep, every single one's in a good spot.
Yeah, so I think we covered. I think we covered everything.
Thanks for tuning in. We will catch you after the All-Star break.
I'm gonna get off. We're gonna get off in about 15 minutes. We have to do an announcement here at the end, but we'll go ahead and answer any questions. I think we had a couple questions come in, so go ahead and feel free to ask questions. Again, it's a two game slate, so sorry if we disappoint you on the time here. I know we're not going to stay too long, but there isn't much to talk about. It's if Brandon Ingram's out, this is what it looks like, and we showed you what it looks like here.
Ingram just got ruled out.
No, we didn't. Yeah, you're a liar. I looked at my phone too.
I knew you were going to jump to look at your phone.
All right. If Ingram in, Wanamaker, Ferguson, Ingram, Williamson, Noel, Ball, George, Leonard. Okay, so I don't like Wanamaker. I don't like Ferguson. And I don't like Williamson if Ingram's back, just because I think he's slightly overpriced. I'd readjust that. Paul George and Leonard, that's a good combo, though. That's very safe, especially if that's a cash lineup. GPP, though, that's very GPP-ish. I have a feeling that was a GPP lineup. I get guys with guaranteed minutes over those guys. How you feeling about Tice? Yeah, we just said that Tice is a very good play tonight. He should be on the court a lot. Obviously, the matchup against the big guy there, Zubac.
Zub and Harrell.
Yeah, both of them. Yeah, he has to play a lot.
Tice is very athletic, so he can definitely hang with Harrell. So
right now, I got CP3, Ball, Williams, Luo, Smart, Morris, Hayward, Kawhi, Zion, and Harrell for head-to-head. So head-to-heads we're gonna count as cash because you have to beat 50% of the field, obviously. Thank you, Deprive, for the subscription.
Thanks, man.
That wasn't you.
What?
Let's see. Who's the lowest owned there? Hayward's. I mean, that's not bad. Again, this is with the assumption that Brandon Ingram's out. I like Zion. So yeah, I mean, I like that if Brandon Ingram's out. Any Paul George? Yeah, Paul George is a great play tonight. 7.9. So him and Kawhi are both great plays. It's just a matter of which one you want to take a stab at, to be honest. I'm not a fortune teller, so I can't give you the answer on who's going to do better.
Why not?
Matt throwing shade. When did I throw shade?
You always throw shade.
No. This is like a while ago.
That was probably when you called Zion fat.
Oh, okay.
You can't be calling Zion fat, man.
Oh, he does need to shed a couple pounds. All right, thank you, Anchor. Thank you for backing me up there.
Anchor, our guy.
Yeah.
Which team players most will you stack?
Sano came out and said Zion diet narrative.
Yeah, Zion diet narrative. I like that. Which team players most will you stack? So what team are we looking to stack the most in terms of players? If Ingram's out, Pelicans are in play, but right now I would say Clippers and OKC.
The safest stack anyway. The lowest owned is going to be Boston. Yep. If you want to take a really, really big shot there.
Yeah, Celtics will be the lowest owned if Ingram is out. If Ingram is in, I think the Pelicans will be the lowest owned.
Thank you, Bosco, for the subscription.
Thanks, Bosco.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Favors has screwed me every single time. Stay away. Stay far away. All right. So, like I said, the last game he would have smashed if he would have played the entire fourth quarter. He got to 20 in the fourth, and he would have far exceeded that. He was on the roll. So, just saying. He does very well when Brandon Ingram's off the court. Could end up being a GPP option just because there's so many good center options. So, GPPs.
Noel or Canner in GPPs? I would take Noel.
Should we be prepared for the 7:45 pivot once Ingram gets ruled out? I don't think it's going to be at 7:45. I think it's going to be a little bit earlier if I had to guess. I bet you it's going to be in the next hour. It's going to probably be around 7. Watch. All right, thoughts on Noel? TJ, you want to talk about Noel again?
I mean, it's a great matchup for him off the bench going up against Jackson Hayes. So I know the minutes are scary at 18, but he's only 3.2. So very productive player when he's on the court. Averages 1.12 fantasy points per minute. So I'm definitely on board on Noel. I'm going to be overweight on him in terms of GPPs. Yeah, I definitely like the spot. And it's tough to say with Canner just because he came back from his injury and really hasn't been playing that much because Tyson's been playing so well. And they've been going a lot to Grant Williams too lately. Grant Williams has been getting some minutes off the bench. So we're gonna have to kind of wait and see, obviously, with Brandon Ingram. But in terms of Nerlens Noel, I like him at 3.2.
Right now, I got CP3, Ball, Williams. Oh, I already read that. I'm lying. I did not mean to read that. Did you ask that question twice? I think he asked that question twice. He did.
Who?
I knew I was going. I thought I was going crazy there for a second. Colin asked the second question.
Someone asked about Nicola Melli. I definitely like Melli if Ingram's out. That's for sure. He'll definitely see an uptick in minutes. He'll probably play mid-20s. And if he gets hot, he could play high 20s. So I definitely like Melli if Ingram's out. If Ingram's in, I don't have as much interest in him. But if Ingram's out, I'll definitely be overweight on Nicola Melli.
Dort breaking the slate today? Question mark. I don't think Dort has the ability to break a slate. Is that more shade?
What?
Dort breaking the slate. I said I don't think Dort has. I don't think he has the capabilities to break a slate.
That's kind of shady, man. I don't know why you're throwing shade.
I'm on a roll.
You kind of are. He does have the ability to break a slate. Okay. He had 6.5 points against the Spurs.
That is, you are right.
That's against Pop, man.
Noel or Canner in GPPs? Good question.
I answered that.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. I said go with Noel.
All right, I'm going to scroll to the bottom then.
Scroll to the bottom. 5 Pelicans, too many. Depends on Ingram.
Last 2 times Steven Adams played against New Orleans, Derek Favors wasn't playing. So like you guys said, would Noel be a better pivot since he is playing the bench? I wouldn't say he's a better pivot, but yeah, he's definitely a viable one. Like I said, Derek Favors just gets such a big boost in usage with Brandon Ingram off the court. That's my only. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying Derek Favors is a great play. I'm saying he gets such a big boost when Brandon Ingram's off the court. But I mean, both those plays are still great. Shamet question mark. I would avoid him. He's just not an efficient fantasy point per minute player. If you want to take a stab at him, GPP, sure. Of course, we know that Beverly is out, so that usage is going around.
I hate Shamet.
Yeah, he's just not productive. That's shade.
Yeah, well, whatever. You know. Any Jaylen Brown news? No, not yet. He went through shoot around this morning. I expect him to play. So, who is good value for cash? Everybody. As crazy. I mean, Gallinari at 5.5, I think, is probably the chalkiest guy on the slate. Kawhi at 91. I mean, that's kind of insane that you can get Kawhi at 91, and he's the most expensive guy. So those are probably my 2 guys that I would like. I mean, in terms of value, so cheap guys, I'd say Gallinari and Tice. Those would be my 2.
Hit that like button, yes. Thank you for that. Thank you for the support.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. There's 158 people watching, but only 17 likes.
Yeah,
is that shit?
That's
shit. Right?
That's rude.
That is kind of rude. It's okay. It's not why we do it. I feel like Noel's a foul machine. Yeah, I mean, some bigs are like that. He can definitely get into foul trouble for sure. Schroeder, yeah. I mean, the OKC guards are in a great spot against the Pelicans. I kind of think I would rather go SGA or Chris Paul over Schroeder, but like I don't think you can go wrong with either of them. Schroeder at 5'8" is a sin. So like some of these teams, like the Clippers and the OKC, their price tags are very soft for I don't know why.
Also, yeah, Ingram is actually a really good play, guys, if he does play. I just don't think he is. Brandon Ingram, though, 7.2 is very intriguing. Very intriguing. I think he'll go under-owned if he does play, just because everybody will be scared of his injury. So, could end up being a good GPP option. 7.2, we know that he averages 1.25 fantasy points per minute. I just like Brandon Ingram as a player. I think he's just very efficient. He has a lot of usage, does a little bit of everything.
Devo, I like when TJ sends me lunch money. He said he's fading Brown.
Who? Slothy.
Yeah, Devo. Slothy boy. Harrell or Adams? I'd go Adams.
Yeah, I can agree. I like them. Again, if you're picking between two players and they're pretty much the same, I'd go with minutes. I always go with minutes if I don't know. All right, TJ, I do have to go though, so I'm gonna drop our important announcement here, guys. Sorry, TJ, your face will go away in just a second.
Peace. That's okay. My beautiful face is gone, but that's okay. My gorgeous voice is still here. So yeah, guys, like Matt said, if you're not a member, what's up?
They couldn't hear me when I was doing that.
No way.
Yeah, they couldn't hear me. So, guys, I switched back to my other scene. We're a partner now with Thrive Fantasy, guys. If you look in the top ticker and you also looked at the screen, if you use DG Fantasy to sign up, you get $20. $20 to sign with Thrive Fantasy. If you like our picks, you can go over there and obviously use it for any prop betting. I'll be dropping my favorite picks on our early morning videos. So not only for DraftKings, but also Thrive Fantasy. Okay, so I have to get a little bit more used to the app. I have to see what prop bets I like while they're still spamming the chat. That's funny. There's so many people that freaked out on me. But yeah, we just entered into a partnership. They can hear me now. We just entered into a partnership with Thrive Fantasy, guys. So that's our major announcement. We're very happy about it. Again, if you haven't already, download the app, DG Fantasy. Sorry for the technical difficulty, but we're very excited about this. TJ, any words about that?
Yeah, so obviously Thrive Fantasy, new partnership, really excited. And for those of you like Matt, just to reiterate, for those of you who aren't signed up, if that's something you're interested in, head on over there. And when you make your first deposit of a minimum of $20, they match it and give you a bonus of $20. Like Matt said, go over there, enter DG Fantasy. We're going to start giving you guys picks for free on here. Matt's going to do it in the morning, and then I'm going to be coming in hot with my Thrive Fantasy picks for you guys. It's prop betting on who you like, and they have basketball, they have PGA, they have esports. I mean, they got the whole nine. So we're really excited to see how this partnership goes, and hopefully we can win some money over there along with DraftKings.
Yeah, definitely. So just the more the better. The more information that we have, the better.
Now,
also,
real quick, guys,
yeah.
If you want to download the Thrive Fantasy on the App Store or Play Store, you can do that by visiting their website at www.thrivefantasy.com.
Also, in my last video, I posted the link. Also with our promo code DG Fantasy.
Link is below. Link is below.
Yeah, link is below. So one last thing, too. To help get us through the dry season for NBA the next week, we're not going to have any NBA besides the All-Star break, the All-Star game, which we will be covering, by the way. Me and TJ are going to break it down. I have a lot of material that I want to cover, a lot of different sports I want to talk about. I'm going to be putting out not a video a day, but probably a video every other day with some more tutorial videos to help keep you guys engaged. Obviously, we want to stay talking to you guys, and we want to keep playing DraftKings, right? So that's obviously the goal. So me and TJ are here, guys. In the meantime, if you have any questions, feel free to DM us, and we're always here to help. TJ, any last words?
Good luck tonight. Don't play a lot of cash games. If you do want to play this 2-game slate, make sure that you're attacking these GPPs. Tread lightly, obviously, because it is a 2-game slate. So don't put as much as you normally would on a regular, 6 to 10 game slate. Just be careful. Enjoy the All-Star break. We're going to do our best to stay active for you guys during this All-Star break. Matt and I definitely have some things up our sleeves with this week off. Hopefully we can bring them to fruition, and we'll go from there.
Absolutely. And with that being said, guys, Thrive Fantasy Picks in the morning. So I'll be doing some more research on that tomorrow. And with all that being said, guys, have a great Thursday night, and let's cash.
Love you guys.